This is what you're going to need for this project. You're going to need, obviously, fabric. I got this. This is like a cotton jersey type. You want one that's got stretch to it. That's got just a little bit of stretch. You can use cotton, but the thing with cotton is there's no give in it at all. I bought 2 yards, but I'm not going to be needing that much. You want some pins to pin it down, fabric scissors, and then you want something for tracing. I tend to use a pen or I use chalk. And then what you're going to trace. This is one of my favorite shirts. It fits really well, and that's about the shape I want anyways. Now don't worry, you're not going to be cutting your shirt, so your shirt's safe. If you'd like, you can go ahead and iron the 2 sides so they're straighter. And then you want to just pin the top of the fabric so it doesn't move while you're tracing and or cutting. And I always tend to pin the sides together as well. So I've got it laid out. I'm fairly happy with how it is. Now if you can tell, the front, there's an opening. As to the back, we will deal with that later. Alright, but now let's go ahead and trace it through. Okay, now we've traced your shirt. Now what you want to do is go ahead and go down a little bit lower, the length of what you want your dress to be. Okay, now I want to show you, and this is an experiment, so if it doesn't work, well, you'll find out before you make it. But now, like I just told you, the front dips down lower. So what I'm going to do is try to be approximate and just make my oval shape here on where I'm going to cut. Now I've decided this is going to be my front, and then there will be the back. Now while you are drawing the front of it like so, do not pick it up and move it, otherwise it's going to be off. Okay, but now I've got it traced. I have decided how long I want it, so it's time to start cutting. Now that we've got it cut, what you want to do is go ahead and pin it so that way it stays relatively close. First of all, I want to go ahead and just hem these in. Just use a pin, and just use pins to hem them in, obviously. Just be careful not to sew them together. I've done that before. My tip of the day to you is make sure when you are either tracing or cutting that you give yourself a seam allowance. Now that you've pinned it and you've made your small hems, go ahead and sew them. So both your sleeves and your collar. I went over these twice when I sewed them, just to reinforce them, because we tend to be a little rougher with our clothing. So I would hate for you to make one and then your stitching come undone, like after you've washed it a couple times or something like that. But yes, now I would go ahead and just sew your 2 sides. Now the last thing you want to do, look at my little helper. She's just hanging out with Mama while I sew. Now what you want to do is just go ahead and sew. Go ahead and sew up top. This is the part where you can decide whether you want to hem this or if you don't. That's completely up to you. Same thing with the bottom. And there we go. I mean, I just sewn all the way through. So now, let's just turn it around. There we go. I mean, it's just, that's it. It's finished. That is the finished product. And here's the end result. This took me, I'd say, maybe about 2 hours to make, but keep in mind that I have a 3.5-month-old. Just stop and check on her constantly. So I mean, if you've got straight free time, I'd say this is a project that could take you about 1.5 hours from start to finish. So yeah, I mean, overall, I'm fairly happy with it. The one mistake that I did make when making this was I did not pre-wash. And this is a kind of a jersey cotton. If I dry this, then it probably won't fit anymore. It'll shrink. It may shrink too much, so it'll become a tunic instead of a dress. So I would always suggest that if it's got cotton in it, pre-wash it. That's just the smartest way to go, pre-wash it and dry it. so that it'll shrink and you'll know what you have to work with. Yes, so leave me a comment down below letting me know what you think, and if you make your own, I would love to see a picture and or a video response. So yeah, if you have any questions, let me know. And now, a word from our sponsor.